Before the sun breaches the horizon, Colonel Clive stands anchored to the damp earth of the British encampment. His heavy brass spyglass tracks the silent mangrove thickets where an empire's fate quietly waits in the cooling morning mist. The first light fractures across the eastern ridge, illuminating Master Gunner Burgess as he braces against the heavy wooden trail. The sovereign cannon gleams, its polished iron barrel finally fixed upon the distant tree line, awaiting the fierce battle. Deep within the humid mangrove thickets, Commander Yusuf advances with measured resolve. His steady arm extends toward the open field, directing a vast, synchronized sea of infantry across the ancient, sun-dabbled canopy, preparing for the heavy clash. Upon the elevated village earthworks, Chief Artillerist Mirza Jafar grips a long wooden ramrod beside the heavy iron guns. His rigid posture commands a battery of silent artillery, waiting patiently for the crimson redcoats to advance across the ancient plain. At high noon, Captain Khalid holds a heavy oak musket within the prepared river redoubt. The thunderous report of the sovereign cannon shakes the packed earth as he tracks the rising haze of approaching war elephants across the field. Across the sun-baked plain, Mahur Raja Singh grips the heavy leather harness atop the lead war elephant. Volumetric light cuts through the humid haze, illuminating brass armor as the column advances toward the reloading British guns. As the afternoon deepens, Burgess grips the iron ramrod once more, feeding fresh powder into the sovereign cannon's muzzle. He raises a firm hand toward the distant Nawab command tent, where a traitorous general watches the ancient slaughter unfold. Behind the eastern tree line, Commander Shamsuddin grips a heavy lance as the final devastating round echoes through the humid air. His cavalry waits in disciplined silence, eyes fixed on the advancing British redcoats, pushing forward through the mist. Dusk settles over the forward command post as Clive studies his brass compass beneath the canvas walls. He raises a firm hand toward the collapsing enemy ranks, watching the remnants scatter into the gathering twilight, marking the ancient end. Nightfall claims the abandoned Nawab encampment, where Bannermaster Tariq stands guard over scattered remnants and fading embers. The sovereign cannon now serves as a silent beacon, casting long shadows toward the torchlit British lines, securing the ancient victory. Under the pale moonlight, Sergeant Major Grant secures the captured village outskirts with a heavy carbine at his shoulder. His steady gaze points toward the river crossing, sealing the enemy's final desperate escape route forever, ensuring ancient control. At midnight, Burgess polishes the sovereign cannon's gleaming barrel with a heavy wool cloth, the iron reflecting cold starlight. He lowers his gaze toward the eastern hills, where the first pale light of dawn begins to bleed across the sky. Before the new day breaks, Commander Shamsuddin marches toward the British camp, his hand resting on a heavy leather saddle horn. Mist fractures around the cavalry reserve as they approach the command post, where a new order rises, reshaping history. Morning light filters through canvas awnings as Clive receives Mir Jafar's submission. Gripping a heavy iron key that seals the province's fate, he points toward the river, where the new treaty will forever alter the subcontinent, cementing imperial power. By midday, former Commander Yusuf stands within the captured fort courtyard, gripping a heavy wooden staff as his former banners are struck out. He turns his head toward the British officers dictating the terms of a quiet peace accepting his fate. In the afternoon heat, Burgess secures the sovereign cannon with heavy canvas straps, preparing the French artillery to depart Plassey. He raises a firm hand toward the distant port, where the fading French fleet awaits the tide, signaling retreat. As evening shadows stretch across the packed dirt, Captain Collett establishes a permanent garrison, his surveyor's rod marking the boundaries of a new empire. He fixes his eyes toward the horizon, where stone walls will soon rise, securing the frontier. Under the cover of night, Commander Shamsuddin patrols the newly drawn borders, his heavy lantern cutting through the dark road. He raises a firm hand toward the eastern pass, where lucrative trade routes will soon begin to flow, enriching the realm. In the quiet hours before midnight, Bannermaster Tariq stores the captured silks within the fortified armory, his grip tightening on a heavy iron ring. He turns his head toward the British quarter, where the new order takes permanent shape. Dawn breaks over the transformed landscape as Clive surveys the quiet plains through his brass telescope. The sovereign cannon stands weathered and silent, a monument to the decisive victory that will forever reshape the subcontinent, marking a new ancient era.